Chapter 13, let us read from verse 1. It says, "Let brotherly love continue. Do not forget to entertain strangers, for by so doing, some have unwittingly entertained angels. Remember the prisoners as if chained with them, those who are mistreated, since you yourselves are in the body also." Now, stop there. Now, you see here, this is a huge challenge. And actually, before I came back from America, I called one of the pastors. And I said, like as a church, there is something that we haven't done. We have not been so much involved in prison ministry. We need to begin sending some of you guys to go. I'm not saying that we imprison you. I'm saying to go there. I'm saying that you go there to minister to them. There are women in prison today. And some of them are in that prison because they didn't make anything wrong. It's just because they did not have someone, a good lawyer, to argue their case. Some of them are falsely accused. And some of them are even serving life sentence. Some of them are serving death penalty. Some of them will be killed for something they never did. You've heard of this like scandals where a mother, if she's having trouble with the husband, will tell the daughter to tell everyone to go to and report that daddy raped me. And you have seen in this country there are so many children who have grown up and went back to the court and said, "I falsely accused my father." So there are so many people who are crying. I saw some guy, I don't know in Mombasa or where, who was imprisoned for 22 years because they said he raped children, and he never did it. And that man was crying. So finally the truth comes out, and he has served 20-something years in prison for something he never did. So those people need encouragement. They need our love. They need our help. So here the apostle says, "Let brotherly love continue. Do not forget to entertain" what? "Strangers. For by so doing, some have unwittingly entertained" who? Angels. Now this one is talking about, to entertain, not to put music and dance. Some of you, because you are a prefect of entertainment at school. So when we say that, so you are thinking you put music and dance for the stranger. That is not what we are talking about. To entertain strangers means to take care of their needs. Like if someone if you have a guest, someone coming to your home, let's say even someone has mental what? Problems, and they come to your home. What is your first reaction? Is it to chase them away? Why can't you just give that person even a cup of cold water? And if there is food, give them what? Food. And the Bible says some, by so doing, they entertained who? Angels. Now let me tell you something. When me and my family were living in abject poverty back in Mativo village, I don't know which 1990 or what, we had a conference and we brought in guests. I brought in guests in my house. I didn't have mattresses, so I went to a school and borrowed mattresses because I didn't have mattresses in my house. And the guests slept very well on the mattresses. And my mother and my young sister Robai, myself, we entertained those guests for a whole week. I remember when those guys were leaving, they prayed a prayer. We did not have a very beautiful home. All our houses were not even grass thatched, makolore thatched. My house, my mother's house, and her kitchen were just like that. And the door of my house was just some old iron sheet. It wasn't a good house. One room, but I took 4 guests. The house didn't look nice, I know, but those people were entertained, were taken care of properly. They ate very well. My friends, when those people left, they prayed a prayer. By February something, we saw the first iron sheet house for my mother. We did not have cows, we got cows. You know, there are some of you, because in your homes you don't entertain people, you don't receive guests, you have locked blessings. Some of the guests are not favorable, but just entertain them. The Bible says, in so doing, some have unknowingly entertained who? Angels. Angels. You remember when guests came to Abraham's house, did Abraham know that they were angels? No, they were just some guests who were on a long journey and they were tired. They just needed a place to do what? To rest. But in the morning, he realized that these guys are not normal guests. And what did they say? Next year, such a time as this, you will have a child. What happened? A child was born. What was his name? Isaac. So here we are being trained on the Christian practical living with people. As a Christian, you are not just there to be in the corner alone speaking in tongues. No, Christianity involves other people. You touch other people's lives. That's called Christianity. So he says, let brotherly love continue. Do not forget to entertain strangers, for by so doing some have unwittingly entertained angels. Remember the prisoners as if chained with them, those who are mistreated, since you yourselves are in the body also. How do you feel when you hear that there are Christians being persecuted in Iran? Do you cry for them, or it's just a piece of news? You need to pray for those believers in China who are being persecuted. Did you know that in China you cannot own a Bible? So what people do, if you have a Bible like this, you tear this page and you laminate it. Another one, this one, and laminates it. So you walk with this, you go and read this paper, and then we meet in the street and we exchange. Well, you go and read another one. Tomorrow someone will give you Proverbs, another one. That is what they do. You cannot, if you are found with this, you are killed. And you here, you have access to the Bible. And those people in China with all the persecution, they read the Bible and they are serious with God. And miracles happen in their fellowships. Pray for brethren who are being persecuted all over the world. Suffer together with them. So that is what we learn from. And then he says, for those who are mistreated, remember them. When the Bible says remember those who are mistreated, what does that mean? You should pray for them and be there for them if they're mistreated. There is a young man called John whose father died and mother died. And then the relatives disinherited them, chased them from the land. And this young man qualified to go to university, parallel program. He got a C+ those days when C+ could not secure you a direct university entry. So some time, which year was that? Someone tells me, Pastor, we have a young man who has been teaching in private schools, earning 1,500 shillings a month. This young man passed very well in physics and mathematics, and he got a C+. And even in English, I think he had a C+. How do we help him? So I looked at this young man. He's not my relative. He was not even our church member. When I heard of that story, I said, bring him. So he came to my office in Kamkuyo. I looked at the young man, listened to his story, and it was like a horror movie. I said, no, I have got to be involved in this. So I asked him about their family and their inheritance. I said, have they sold that land? He said, no. He said, yes, 2 senior brothers who have also been chased away from home by brothers of the deceased father. So what I did is I collected all the information, and quickly I went to Kibabi Diploma Teachers Training College and secured for him a place to go and train as a high school teacher, to train as a mathematics computer teacher. So we received the letter of admission. And I told the young man, I want to go to your family. I want to go and see your kinsmen. So he organized and I drove to that home. And actually, people have just shared among themselves the property of their late brother, and the children of their late brother are suffering. The younger daughter was being taken care of by Pastor Samsolo of the Faith Church in Kamkuyo. So I looked at this situation and I said, it can't be. And I took it upon myself. I put this young man in my vehicle. I drove to his uncle's home. When they saw me and I reasoned to them, I was not rough on them. I just opened their eyes. I told them what you're doing is wrong. You can't do this for these children. Number one, you are cursing your own families. You will have that land and you will never have success with your children, which was true. Now, these ones are orphans, they are and they pass exam. These ones, they have taken over their property and they have drunkards. These ones are all saved. So I told them and I said, I want to see the portion of inheritance for this boy. I'm not leaving this house without seeing his land, which he has got to take possession today. And what does the family do? A very senior old man from that family, that place called, I think it's called Malomonya. Yes. So what they did was they showed me the land and we took part of that land, sold it, sold a half an acre, and took the boy to school. He's now a TSC employed teacher. Now, was he my relative? No. And even throughout high school, again, because he did not perform so well in one of the papers or several papers, so he repeated several times. And I remember I am the one who paid the last examination fee. We were the family. When he had the wedding, where was the reception? At my home. Reception was in my house. Here. Because he doesn't have anyone. I'm the father. So the Bible is saying that be concerned about other people's problems. You don't just live your life as though, and there are people in their world, they only have 3 people, me, myself, and I. How many people? 3. Who and who? Me, myself, and I. They don't know anyone. Some of you are here like this, you have a skirt that doesn't fit you, but you are still, you don't even give it out to someone. You have you have a trouser that you cannot even fit in, and you are not giving it out to some of the younger men here. Seated here, there are boys here who only have, apart from school uniform, they only have got one trouser. And you guys, you have got so many trousers, and if you gave them out, they will fit these young people. You have got so many t-shirts and shirts. But you live in a world where you only have got 3 people. Me, myself, and I.
Spiritual nourishment, click on subscribe button below. Click on the notification bell to become the first to know when we upload another video.